I was so proud of that night. That was my first night in Toronto with all my family and friends there. I was thrilled. Yeah, it was one of those. It was actually during the Hall of Fame night. And John, it was my first start of the season in the 16th game of the season, and I hadn't received my notice yet to get an apartment. I had to play well in that game. We ended up winning it, and the rest is history. I got to be a Ranger.
That damn Henrik always wanted to play, right?
Yeah, I remember Harry Neal was interviewing Tom Rennie before the game, John, and he said, "Yes, Valiquette will be the starter," and he brought his hand up to his chest with his fingers crossed. and Harry told me about that before the game, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, Harry." Again, like I just need people to know that I'm the biggest hockey fan and obsessed with hockey from Toronto. So when I'm hearing that from Harry Neal before the game, you can imagine how I felt.
Were you thinking about the apartment thing at all during that start?
Darren, every day I came home from practice, my wife would say to me, "Did you get the slip yet? Did you get?" I was like, "Honey, I'll let you know when I get permission to buy an apartment here, okay?" And man, oh man, it was so stressful. I can tell you that first game in Toronto, the hoops I had to go through. When we came in the night before, Brendan Shanahan used to do this thing where he'd stand up at the back of the bus and he'd say, I used to kiss this girl behind this school as we drive by this school coming down the 427. And he'd do this whole narration of like his childhood in Toronto. And at one point he says, "Hey, Henrik, who's starting tomorrow?" And Henrik and I sit beside each other, and he turns around and he goes, "Valley's playing." And then the bus goes, "Woo." And Shanny goes, "Oh, Matt Sundin's going to be licking his chops tomorrow."
That's awesome.
As the story went, the final shooter in the shootout that night was Matt Sundin, and I knew he was going to go high glove, so I baited him, made the save, and Brendan Shanahan was the first guy to congratulate and say to me, "I knew you had it, Valley." It was wild.
So you baited, so you hold your glove lower and try to give it to him, and then...
Darren, I've been watching Sundin my entire life. I knew he was going high glove on this breakaway. So I drop it about 6 inches and I just cocked it. And as soon as it went off his stick, I didn't even see the puck. I just went for it and I got a good piece of it.
So if he went blocker, you were still moving your glove?
Dead. 5-hole dead, low blocker dead. No shot. But I'll tell you what, everybody knew how much was on my shoulders for this game. And when I came in the locker room, it was Hall of Fame night. It was Messier. It was Graves. It was everybody in the locker room gave me a standing ovation. And it was one of those, post-game moments that I'll never forget. And then I got the towel. And I got to tell you guys, I always found a way when my back was up against the wall. So that was probably the best situation I could have been in.